Article 210.50d addresses receptacles located adjacent to basins. The requirement states that at least one receptacle outlet shall be installed within 3 feet of the outside edge of each basin in kitchens, bathrooms, powder rooms, and laundry rooms. The intent of this code requirement is to provide a convenient and accessible power source for appliances and other electrical devices that may be used near basins. Such appliances include hair dryers, curling irons, electric razors, and toothbrushes. The code does not explicitly state that each basin must have its own individual receptacle outlet. However, the use of the word each strongly suggests that the intent is to provide at least one receptacle outlet for each basin. The phrasing is key to understanding the application of this specific code requirement. A 3 feet distance specified in the code from the outside edge of each basin further reinforces the idea that the receptacle outlet should be located within easy reach of a person using the basin. This ease of access could potentially be compromised if a single receptacle outlet were shared by multiple basins, particularly if the basins are spaced relatively far apart. Therefore, a reasonable and practical interpretation of Article 210.50d leads to the conclusion that each basin should indeed have its own dedicated receptacle outlet located within 3 feet of the basin's outside edge. This interpretation aligns with the intended purpose of the code, which is to ensure convenient access to electrical power for users at each basin location. Considering this interpretation, it is important for electrical installers and inspectors to adhere to the guidelines. When evaluating installations, it is important to think about several key factors. Firstly, the distance from the receptacle to the basin must be measured accurately. Secondly, if multiple basins are present, confirm that each has its own dedicated receptacle within the allowable distance. Thirdly, the type of receptacle should be appropriate for the location. Ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection is typically required for receptacles in bathrooms and kitchens and other damp or wet locations to enhance electrical safety and prevent electrical shock hazards. Ignoring any of these factors could result in the installation not meeting the code requirements. The code emphasizes safety and convenience in electrical installations. It is better to provide individual receptacles for each basin, as this would ensure ease of use. Consider a scenario with 2 basins side by side. Even in such a case, providing a separate receptacle for each ensures that 2 people can use electrical appliances simultaneously without struggling to reach a shared outlet. This improves convenience and reduces the potential for tangled cords and safety hazards. Let's consider some example scenarios to further clarify the application of Article 210.50d. In a single-family residence bathroom with 1 basin, a single receptacle outlet located within 3 feet of the basin's edge is sufficient. In a commercial restroom with multiple basins arranged in a row, each basin must have its own receptacle outlet within 3 feet. If a kitchen island has a sink, a receptacle outlet must be provided within 3 feet of the sink's edge. In a laundry room with a utility sink, a receptacle outlet must be located within 3 feet of the sink. Consider a situation where there are 2 basins separated by 5 feet. In this case, each basin clearly needs its own receptacle because a single receptacle could not be within 3 feet of both. In this situation, having one receptacle between them would not be code compliant. Now consider 2 basins that are only 2 feet apart. While a single receptacle asterisk could technically serve both if placed in the middle, the best practice is still to provide a receptacle for each. This ensures that 2 people can comfortably use the outlets simultaneously. Understanding the NEC is critical to interpreting these sorts of situations and adhering to the best practices. Another point to consider is the height at which the receptacle should be installed. While the NEC does not specify a precise height for these receptacles, they must be readily accessible. A common practice is to install them at a standard height, typically between 12 inches and 18 inches above the finished floor, similar to other receptacles in the room. However, local codes or specific project requirements may influence the final installation height. Always check local amendments and project specifications to ensure compliance. Let's consider the types of receptacles that are suitable for use near basins. As previously mentioned, GFCI protection is generally required. This can be achieved by using GFCI receptacles or by protecting standard receptacles with a GFCI circuit breaker. GFCI receptacles are designed to detect ground faults and quickly interrupt the circuit, preventing electrical shocks. They are easily identifiable by their test and reset buttons. Tamper-resistant receptacles, which have internal shutters that prevent children from inserting objects into the slots, are also a good choice, especially in residential settings. The code requires tamper-resistant receptacles in most areas of dwelling units, including bathrooms and kitchens. When planning electrical installations near basins, it's also important to consider the placement of other electrical devices and fixtures. Avoid placing receptacles directly above or below the basin, where they could be easily exposed to water. Ensure that there is adequate clearance around the receptacle to allow for easy access and to prevent obstructions. Think about the potential use of extension cords and power strips. While these devices can provide additional outlets, they should be used cautiously. Avoid overloading circuits and never use extension cords or power strips in damp or wet locations. It's generally better to install additional permanent receptacles to meet the anticipated demand for power. Always use listed and labeled electrical products. Ensure that all receptacles, wiring, and other electrical components are certified by a recognized testing laboratory, such as UL or ETL. This certification indicates that the product has been tested and meets safety standards. Avoid using counterfeit or substandard electrical products, as they can pose a significant safety hazard. The importance of proper wiring and grounding cannot be overstated. Ensure that all wiring is correctly sized and installed according to the NEC and local codes. Grounding is essential for preventing electrical shocks and ensuring the safe operation of electrical devices. The grounding system should be properly connected to the building's grounding electrode system. Regular inspections and maintenance are crucial for ensuring the continued safety and reliability of electrical installations. Periodically inspect receptacles for signs of damage or wear. Test GFCI receptacles monthly to verify that they are functioning correctly. If you notice any problems, such as loose connections, damaged wiring, or malfunctioning receptacles, have them repaired by a qualified electrician promptly. Consider engaging a qualified electrician to conduct a comprehensive electrical safety inspection of your home or building every few years. These inspections can identify potential hazards and ensure that your electrical system is up to code. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it's essential to stay current with the latest changes and revisions. Changes to the code can affect the requirements for electrical installations in various locations, including bathrooms and kitchens. Familiarize yourself with the latest edition of the NEC and consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector if you have any questions. Understanding the NEC and how it applies to specific situations requires careful study and attention to detail. Don't hesitate to seek clarification from qualified professionals if you are unsure about any aspect of the code. Remember that electrical safety is paramount, and it's always better to err on the side of caution. Finally, remember that local codes and regulations may have additional requirements or amendments that supplement the NEC. Always check with your local building department or electrical inspector to ensure that your electrical installations comply with all applicable codes and regulations. In summary, Article 210.50d requires that at least one receptacle outlet be installed within 3 feet of the outside edge of each basin in kitchens, bathrooms, powder rooms, and laundry rooms. While the code does not explicitly state that each basin must have its own receptacle outlet, the use of the word each strongly suggests that this is the intended interpretation. Providing individual receptacles for each basin enhances convenience, safety, and code compliance. Always follow the NEC, local codes, and best practices when planning and installing electrical systems near basins. By adhering to these guidelines, you can ensure a safe and reliable electrical installation for all users. In situations with multiple basins, carefully consider the layout and spacing to determine the most appropriate placement of receptacle outlets. If the basins are close together, a single receptacle may technically comply with the code, but providing individual receptacles is generally the preferred approach. If the basins are far apart, each basin will clearly require its own receptacle outlet. When selecting receptacles for use near basins, prioritize safety by using GFCI protection and tamper-resistant designs. Ensure that all wiring and grounding is properly installed and maintained. Conduct regular inspections and maintenance to identify and address any potential hazards. Stay current with the latest edition of the NEC and consult with qualified professionals if you have any questions. Remember that electrical safety is a shared responsibility, and by following these guidelines, you can help to protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. Electrical installations can range from simple to complex, especially when dealing with the nuances in the National Electrical Code. However, with a combination of diligence and a dedication to understanding the purpose behind the code requirements, installers can ensure the safety and convenience of those who utilize the electricity in their homes and places of business. Always remember, when dealing with electricity, there is no substitute for safety, and understanding the nuances of codes like Article 210.50d is a major component in achieving a safe electrical environment. The goal is to create spaces where electrical needs are met without compromising the well-being of the users, and this can be accomplished through informed decision-making and a strong commitment to code-compliant installations. Also, do not neglect the importance of load calculations when installing new circuits. Make sure that the existing electrical panel has sufficient capacity to handle the additional load imposed by the new receptacles and any appliances that will be plugged into them. Overloading circuits can lead to overheating, fires, and other electrical hazards. If necessary, consider upgrading the electrical panel to increase its capacity. Furthermore, be mindful of the potential for water exposure when installing receptacles near basins. Choose receptacles that are suitable for damp locations and consider using weatherproof covers to protect them from splashes and spills. Position the receptacles in a way that minimizes the risk of water entering the electrical box. Always disconnect power at the breaker before working on electrical circuits. Never work on live circuits, as this can result in serious injury or death. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as rubber gloves and safety glasses, when working with electricity. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the job. It's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to electrical work. Electrical safety should always be the top priority. Educate yourself and others about the potential hazards of electricity and how to prevent accidents. Encourage safe practices and habits around electrical appliances and equipment. By working together, we can create a safer electrical environment for everyone. Remember to keep electrical cords and appliances away from water sources, and never use electrical devices with wet hands. Avoid overloading electrical outlets and circuits, and never use damaged or frayed electrical cords. Teach children about the dangers of electricity and how to stay safe around electrical equipment. Regularly inspect electrical cords, plugs, and appliances for signs of damage, and have them repaired or replaced as needed. Keep electrical panels and outlets accessible and free from obstructions. Install smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in your home or building, and test them regularly to ensure that they are functioning properly. Have a fire extinguisher readily available in case of an electrical fire. In the event of an electrical fire, evacuate the building immediately and call the fire department. Never use water to extinguish an electrical fire, as this can conduct electricity and cause further injury. Use a Class C fire extinguisher, which is designed for electrical fires. Stay informed about electrical safety through reputable sources such as the Electrical Safety Foundation International, the National Fire Protection Association, and your local utility company. Attend workshops and seminars on electrical safety to enhance your knowledge and skills. Share your knowledge with others and encourage them to adopt safe electrical practices. By working together, we can create a safer electrical environment for our families, our communities, and our workplaces. Understanding the intent and specifics of electrical codes like Article 210.50d is just one aspect of maintaining a safe electrical system. Continuous learning, diligent maintenance, and a proactive approach to safety are essential for preventing electrical accidents and ensuring the well-being of everyone. Stay safe, stay informed, and always prioritize electrical safety.